Let's talk about the testosterone lab ranges and how it's used to diagnose people. Historically speaking, people are diagnosed with low testosterone based on the parameters of falling outside of what a normal lab range is. A low testosterone diagnosis is pretty much a statistical diagnosis. When creating reference intervals, lab companies, what they do is they take aggregates of data, they get averages from hundreds of people to thousands of people. I've seen some studies in which some labs can use as little as a couple hundred people, and I've seen some studies where they use more. And what they do, they get an aggregation of data and they keep the middle 95% of people. So what they do is if they have 2.5% of the outliers on the top are shaved off, then 2.5% of the outliers on the bottom are shaved off. And what you find in the middle 95% is what they keep. I've also seen where they'll only shave off the top 5% or they'll only shave off the bottom 5%. But typically, it's usually they keep the middle 95%. One of the big problems about this is the fact that this is a statistical diagnosis. If the lab ranges would corroborate the blood levels with the patient's symptomology, it would provide us something more tangible. It'd provide us more of a qualitative diagnosis. But right now, it's pretty much just statistical diagnosis, meaning you fall inside the reference or you don't. We see a lot of guys who will fall well inside the reference range who do complain about all the symptoms of low testosterone. And by having a statistical diagnosis only, there's probably thousands of men who are walking around with all the symptoms, but they're completely being overlooked. A big thing we really have to take into consideration is what we determine as healthy, because the term healthy is, well, quite frankly, it's a relative term. So even if you use people in the decision making of creating reference intervals who are otherwise deemed healthy, it doesn't necessarily mean they're free of some kind of evolving underlying diagnosis. Doesn't mean they have the absence of a subclinical thing going on. But the thing I really want to dial home is that, especially in terms of the HRT world, in terms of our testosterone levels, is that if the reference interval does reflect a quote unquote healthy population, but this healthy population lives the American lifestyle in which, they're eating a poor diet, they're not exercising, not getting adequate sunlight, not getting adequate sleep, they're working 40, 60 hours a week, they're completely sedentary, and they're completely just showered in fluorescent lights. If that is what constitutes a healthy reference range and a healthy hormone level, then are they actually truly healthy, or are we just accepting the fact that there's been a massive decline in what a healthy hormone level should actually be? Long story short, when it comes to lab ranges, especially within the HRT, the TRT world, the lab ranges don't really tell us a whole lot. It really doesn't give us the full clinical picture, the full story. The big thing is, how are you responded? How is the therapy treating you in terms of symptomatic improvement? Are you having improvements in body composition and overall well-being? Those are really the big driving factors and the big clinical benchmarks in terms of how you're responding to the treatment. So no, we're really not number driven, nor are we chasing a specific number. So if someone is saying you need to be a certain number, the therapy needs to get you to right here or only right here, that overlooks the symptomatic clinical outcomes that therapy is really being driven by.